All right, welcome back to the last and final video on operations with integers, okay? And in this particular video, we're going to be talking about dividing integer decimals, okay? And the rules and still apply and everything stays the same. So remember, when you got a positive divided by a positive, you're going to end up with a positive. Excuse my handwriting. When you have a negative divided by a negative, you're going to end up with a positive. All right, a positive divided by a negative, you're going to end up with a negative, and a negative divided by a positive, you're going to end up with the negative. Remember, same signs, you get a positive, different signs, you get a negative. Let's look at our reminder on how to divide decimals. Remember, line them up in long division, make your divisor a whole number, repeat the same for the dividend, move the decimal up into your quotient, and then divide as if you normally would. All right, so let's take a look at an example. So the first example we're going to do is 9/10 divided by 1 and 5/10. All right. Remember, the first thing you want to do is line it up in long division. All right. So I'm going to line it up in long division. 0.9 goes on the inside, and 1 and 5/10 go on the outside. And remember, before I can divide this, I got to make my divisor a whole number. So I'm going to take this decimal, move it one time. And if I do that on the outside, I got to do it on the inside. Take this decimal, move it one time. All right, so now what I have is 15 going into 9. All right, 15 going into 9. 15 goes into 9 0 times because 15 times 0 is 0. Put my 9, add a decimal, add a 0, bring that down. Remember, your decimal goes straight up into your answer. 15 goes into 90 6 times because 15 times 6 is 90, and I'm left with no remainder. So this actually gives me 0.6, and I do apologize. The 0.9 was supposed to be a negative, and because I have a negative times a divided by a positive, my answer should be negative, and I do apologize for that. Let's look at one more example. We're going to look at 2 divided by 25 hundredths, negative 25 hundredths. So 2 divided by negative 25 hundredths. And remember, our first thing we want to do is line it up in long division form. So that's 2, and it's being divided by 25 hundredths. The negative sign when you're doing long division doesn't really matter. You can go back and add that in once you get your answer. And remember, I want to make this number out here a whole number. So I got to move it twice. And if I do it on the outside, I got to do it on the inside. Remember, the 2 on the inside is a whole number because you do not see a decimal. So that means the decimal will fall right here in the front. And if I move it twice, it's 1, 2. And that becomes 20. So now what I really have is 25 going into 20. And 20, remember, my decimal is right here, and it goes straight up into my answer. 25 goes into 20 0 times because 25 times 0 is 0. Left with 20, add my 0, bring it down. Well, 25 goes into 200 8 times because 25 times 8 is 200. And now I'm left with 0. So this is equal to 8/10. And because I had a positive divided by a negative, it should have been a negative 8/10. All right. And so I hope that helps. Remember, the rules stay the same if you remember how to divide decimals. All right. You got to make your divisor a whole number. However many times it takes you to do that on the outside, you do the same thing on the inside. Take your decimal straight up into your answer and divide as normal. All right. And remember your integer rules for dividing. Same signs, you get a positive. Different signs, you get a negative. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next video.